Hey guys, the Black Critic Guy here with the second video in honor of Valentine's Day, or as I like to call it, the day my loneliness is reaffirmed. And to celebrate this amazing, wonderful, and emotionally manipulative day, I thought I'd present you guys with a list you all have been dying for me to redo for many years now, and I heard you guys loud and clear as I'm about to present you my revised edition of my top 10 best anime couples per my opinion. These were the couples I've seen in anime over the years that stood out to me for one reason or another, whether it be the chemistry that they had, the personalities of each of the individuals in this relationship, or the romance that I felt from them. And since I've seen a lot of anime romances, that's not an exaggeration, as the romance genre is my favorite genre of anime, there were a plethora of couples that I could choose to put on this list, but because not all of them could be featured on the list, they all ended up in the honorable mentions category. And here they are. Yuki and Kaori from One Week Friends, Otani and Risa from Lovely Complex, Toru and Kyo from Fruits Basket, Kitaru and Naru from Love Hina, Ryuji and Taiga from Toradora, Saito and Luis from The Familiar of Zero, Shiro and Rin from Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works, and finally, Arita and Princess Snow Black from Excel World. And with those honorable mentions out of the way, let's get to the list, shall we? Kicking off our list at number 10 is Shirayuki and Zen from Snow White with the Red Hair. A fairly new couple in anime, Shirayuki and Zen make it onto the list for how cute and adorable they are as a couple. They just might be the cutest relationship on this list. One great quality to their relationship is although they are fully capable of solving their own problems and reaching their own goals without heavily relying on the other to help or save them, Shirayuki with their studies in medicine and herbs, and Zen with his sword fighting and grooming in the ways of diplomacy and leadership, they support each other on an emotional level. Whenever things get tough, they can always rely on the other to be there and remind them that things will get better. These small, sentimental moments between Shirayuki and Zen are the hallmarks of their romance. Also, the solid voice performances by Brina Palencia and Josh Greeley truly helped to sell the believability of this relationship. They had dynamic chemistry, and I expect no less from my two favorite voice talents working at Funimation right now. The passion in Shirayuki and Zen's romance burns as red hot as Shirayuki's red hair. Being my guardian angels at the number 9 spot is Keiichi and Belldandy from Aw My Goddess. The best way to describe this relationship is sweet and pure. It's the most innocent romance I've ever seen in an anime thus far. It does not get more innocent than Keiichi and Belldandy. I will not deny that I am a complete sucker for all the romantic moments that these two share. Whether it be the mundane moments of them living together in a temple, to Keiichi trying to express his feelings to Belldandy, and Belldandy being clueless to the situation, to the many places that they visit with each other, I just couldn't get enough of it. I wanted more. Please, sir, can I have some more? This relationship would have been much higher on the list if there was more to the relationship. Although I thoroughly enjoyed all the sweet romantic moments between Keiichi and Belldandy, the problem with their relationship is that it kind of plateaus way too early and becomes stagnant. Not only that, there's not much conflict in their relationship, which adds to the stagnation. But overall, I still freaking adore their relationship. It's cute, it's sweet, it's likable. I couldn't get enough. I wanted more. Keiichi and Belldandy, just a sweet couple. But I can say this about Keiichi and Belldandy: their bond is stronger, sweeter, and far more dynamic than most modern day anime couples out right now. That is the god honest truth. Fighting their way to the number 8 spot is Guts and Casca from Berserk. Now this may be quite a shocking and strange pick to put on the list, as Berserk isn't really known for its romance. It's known for far more disturbing and tragic things. Trust me on that. But Guts and Casca's romance in the anime stood out as a beacon of hope and tenderness in an otherwise dark and brutal anime. This relationship was the slowest of burns, starting with Casca outright hating Guts, and rightfully so considering what he did prior to them meeting, but after years of fighting together, they formed an admiration and respect for one another that later blossoms into love. They both work well with each other. They're both fierce and demanding, and both of them have feelings for Griffith that aren't reciprocated. Wait, in an anime that constantly beats you down with its dark subject matter like rape, murder, torture, and child prostitution, to actually see a genuinely romantic relationship not only happening and working in this world is a sight for sore eyes. You see something like that, you embrace it for as long as you can because you know that this anime is going to rip it away from you. Guts and Casca's relationship in Berserk was a literal diamond in the rough. A little small, tender, happy moment for us to enjoy. It's just a damn shame that their romance didn't have a bright future. Get it? Because I did diamond in the rough in the anime, so oh my god, no! No! Just cut the video, just cut. Lasting its way to the number 7 spot is Yusuke and Keiko from Yu Yu Hakusho. Shonen action anime are notorious for having simple, basic romances with very little depth to them and not a lot of chemistry between the two characters in said relationship. But Yusuke and Keiko from Yu Yu Hakusho not only defied convention, but arguably produced one of the best and strongest relationships I've ever seen in a shonen anime so far. What I love about their relationship is the beauty in its simplicity. It's not a very complex romance. It's easy to understand and latch onto and be invested in. Not only that, but their love is never really explicitly said in the anime, but it is shown through their actions, how the characters behave with each other, and how they would throw themselves in harm's way to save the other. Like how Keiko fearlessly went into a house on fire to save Yusuke's body, or how Yusuke fought the 4 saint beasts to save Keiko from a pest infestation. Also, their playful banter, although not shown a lot in the anime, was such a treat to see when it was on screen. Just seeing Yusuke messing with Keiko and then Keiko overreacting, it shows the bond that they have formed over the years, the friendship that they have that later will bloom into love, into a relationship. It was priceless to see. Not only that, but Yu Yu Hakusho has one of the most satisfying conclusions to a romance. It was exactly what I wanted to see. It was near perfect. The action of Yu Yu Hakusho may be the heart of the anime, but Yusuke and Keiko are the spirit of it. Revealing their true selves at the number 6 spot is Junichi and Tsukasa from Amagami SS. In an anime with 6 potential love interests, each with their own centric episodes, it can be quite difficult choosing a favorite. But for me, it was too easy, as Tsukasa always stood out from the bunch and she was my favorite of the 6. And her romance with Junichi did not disappoint. It was the strongest relationship in the entire anime and the most interesting. This relationship stood out because it's the only one in Amagami SS where Junichi actually had to work to earn Tsukasa's trust and therefore her love. All the other girls already had feelings for Junichi to begin with or easily fell for his charms, but not Tsukasa. No. he had to convince her that his feelings for her were sincere. And convince her he did, as he embraced Tsukasa's true character wholeheartedly, telling her that it's the real Tsukasa that he loves, not the facade that she puts on for other people. And this finally reached Tsukasa, and she was willing to accept Junichi's love as well as expressing hers. It's cute, funny, touching, emotional, and irresistible to watch. Junichi and Tsukasa are definitely one hell of a dynamic couple. Bartering and haggling their way to the top is my number 5 choice, Holo and Lawrence from Spice and Wolf. When it comes to anime couples with impeccable chemistry, Holo and Lawrence would definitely be the gold standard. Their full understanding of one another, their ability to play off of each other's strengths when haggling or bartering a deal, and their playful and personal banter is truly remarkable. For an anime that's mainly a journey type story that heavily focuses on the economics and bartering system of this world, it never bored or lost me, and that's mainly due to Holo and Lawrence. They turned what could have been a very dull and forgettable anime into something intriguing and very entertaining to watch. But outside the bartering plot, their relationship still works, as they built a really strong bond through their journey, stronger than either of them ever expected, so much so that they don't even want to be apart from each other, which actually leads to some really memorable, romantic, and touching moments between them. Holo and Lawrence's relationship undoubtedly carries Spice and Wolf. It would not be the great anime that it is without them, and it's so sweet to see. Falling in love in the name of science is my number 4 choice, Okabe and Chris from Steins Gate. Speaking of anime couples with great chemistry, we got the mad scientist Hoin Kyoma and his sexy redhead assistant Christina, the scientifically gifted duo with a relationship and banter very similar to a high school rom-com couple. Like Holo and Lawrence before them, these two also have dynamic chemistry and an instant, undeniable bond. They know each other inside and out, their fears, their joys, their goals, their aspiration, their favorite drinks, and a bunch more. They respect each other as scientists and love each other as individuals. And I absolutely adore how they're always there to pick each other up from the darkness that they find themselves in. Especially with Chris, who's there for Okabe in his most trying, painful, and devastating moment of his life that he relived multiple times. If Chris wasn't there, I don't think Okabe would have been able to keep it together. He would not have made it to the end of the anime. And then there's the beautiful yet heartbreaking episode 22. That episode rocked me to my core, guys. I felt a huge array of emotions in the span of 24 minutes, and the whole entire episode just revolves around these two having a conversation and making a decision as to what they're going to do next. And I was just so captivated. I wanted to know where it was going, and I didn't know how to feel. I was happy yet sad. I was relieved yet distraught. I was incredibly satisfied but also devastated, and a bunch more emotions that I don't want to get into right now because I'm just gonna feel sad thinking about it, man. God, it's sad. It was a really sad episode. It hit me really hard, guys. Okabe and Chris were everything I hoped for in a great dynamic couple, and they made me both smile and tear up with their romance. Dealing with trauma while also trying to find peace at the number 3 spot is Lucy/New and Kota from Elfen Lied. Keeping the heartbreak train rolling, here's Lucy/New and Kota, a relationship that's as beautiful as it is tragic. It's one of the most tragic romances I've ever seen in an anime, and it makes the previous romance look like a fairy tale ending. These two have lived pretty shitty lives. To say they've been through a lot would be a complete understatement. From Kota witnessing firsthand the death of his family at the hands of someone he trusted and loved, scarring him for life, to the tragedy that is Lucy's life, being tormented, bullied, and isolated because of her horns, watching firsthand the brutal killing of her puppy being experimented on over the years, and worst of all, being the person that killed the family of the one person that actually liked her for who she was, forever traumatizing him and ruining his life. Yeah. See what I mean? But what places this couple so high on the list isn't just for the strong bond that they built over the years, it's not just for the sweetness of their relationship from when they were kids all the way to New and Kota, it's because after all the hell that these two went through, they are still able to find peace and solace with each other. As if there was nobody else in the world, just them two. No pain, no suffering, no trauma, no hardships, just peace and happiness. And all of the sweet, tender moments shared between Lucy/New and Kota were without question the strongest moments in the entire anime, in my opinion. And just like Okabe and Chris, this couple also had a fantastic, well-executed, and very touching romantic climax in episode 13. Everything about it worked, from the atmosphere to the dialogue, the music, the animation, the drama, near perfection, truly highlighting the greatness of Lucy/New and Kota's relationship. What more honestly needs to be said? Blowing my head off at the number 2 spot is Celti and Shinra from Now, much of my thoughts on this relationship hasn't changed from the other version. I still think that this is the most unique relationship I've ever seen in an anime, for the exact same reasons. I still love the fact that Shinra's love for Celti isn't based on something as shallow as looks. In fact, Celti's not really much in the looks department, especially since she doesn't have a head. He fell for her through the times they spent with each other over the years, the emotional bond that they formed with each other, and his complete fascination in what Celti is. But what pushed it to the next level, convincing me that this love was real and special, was a scene where Celti learns that Shinra this whole time knew where her head was but never told her, and they have a long conversation with each other, and throughout the entire conversation, Shinra could accurately tell what Celti was saying without the use of a cell phone, which has been established in this anime is the way that Celti talks to people. Because she doesn't have a head, she can't talk, she has to find other mediums to do it, and she texts people, sends out messages and shows messages on her phone to show how she's feeling. This one scene, was extraordinary. It blew me away, guys, and it truly showed how devoted Shinra was to Celti. It showed how much he knew Celti and how much he cared for her, and his actions and explanation made sense, and Celti could tell that he was being completely honest with her. My god, that scene is just incredible in my opinion. That scene alone is enough to put them on this list. But not only that, they have many wonderful and humorous conversations, and they complement each other very well. One being a man of science looking very nerdy and scrawny, and the other one being this badass fairy from Ireland who has smokes for brains, drives an awesome motorcycle, and has a sweet scythe. Total opposites, but work well with each other. Overall, Celti and Shinra's relationship is dynamite, and I loved it to death. And now here we are at the number 1 spot, and I'm pretty sure you all know what number 1 is, considering what numbers 3 and 2 were, which were the exact same picks in my previous list, so it would stand to reason that my number 1 choice would also mirror that as well. And you're right, it is Ataru and Lum from Urusei Yatsura. Now, I thought long and hard about this pick and why it deserves to be number 1. I mean, after the beautifully tragic romance that was Lucy/New and Kota, and the very unique romance of Celti and Shinra, how could Ataru and Lum possibly compare or even surpass them to be in the #1 spot? Well, I'll tell you, this relationship, for all intents and purposes, should not have worked. You have a perverted and lecherous womanizer who constantly thinks with the wrong head, which gets him into trouble on the daily, and a bikini-wearing alien who's prone to emotional electrical outbursts and, due to her lack of knowledge on Earth customs, causes calamity everywhere she goes on a daily basis. The two partake in a 10-day trial to decide Earth's future, and due to a misunderstanding on both parties' behalves, they end up forcibly married and living together. Yeah, this relationship should have been dead on arrival. These two clearly are incompatible at best and destructive at worst. They should never be together. In fact, if the entire anime was a comedy about how these two fail as a couple, it still would have worked. It would have been hilarious to see. But this anime does something truly extraordinary by taking this unlikely pairing and not only making them work, but creating a very convincing, emotional, and entertaining relationship. One thing that I absolutely adore about this relationship is how much these two characters grow, not only as individuals, but also as a couple. You know, Ataru starts off being a very reprehensible person, someone you can't really root for, but Lum sees good in him, and through Lum's eyes, we start to see the good in Ataru as well. Not only that, Ataru used to just look at Lum as just this sex figure, you know, she's sexy, she's hot, that's all he really thought about her. But when spending more time with Lum, he realizes there's a genuine person in there that he truly likes. There's something about her that makes her incredible and amazing. One of my favorite episodes in the entire series is an episode where Lum actually leaves and Ataru thinks, oh, she's gone for good, oh, it's time to celebrate. But by the end of the episode, he comes to realize that he's empty without Lum. He's nothing without Lum, and he's begging her to come back. And when she finally comes back, it's kind of really touching. And I also admired how they were able to keep this relationship going and keep it fresh. Yeah, it does get repetitive from time to time, but most of the time, I still really enjoyed the relationship. 195 episodes later, and I still feel a strong connection with them. I'm not bored with their relationship. In fact, their relationship is probably the best thing about each of those episodes. Ataru and Lum unquestionably has the longest lasting relationship on this list, spanning 3 decades, 195 episodes, 6 films, a bunch of OVAs, and they are still going strong. I still feel a strong bond between them. I still root for them. I love their banter. I love their chemistry. I like their back and forth. Not only that, in the 5th movie, they actually had a very interesting, surprising, touching, and impactful romantic climax that brought their love story full circle. I love the execution of that movie. The entire movie was great in my opinion, and it was a perfect ending to their story. With a relationship that could stand the test of time, only gets better with age, and remains hilarious, emotional, impactful, and touching decades later, it stands to reason why I chose Ataru and Lum as the #1 best anime couple I've seen in an anime. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was my list of the top 10 best anime couples per my opinion. And I would love to know what you guys thought about my list. Did you agree with it? Did you disagree with it? Did you feel like I left any awesome anime couples out? And do let me know who is the best anime couple in your opinion. Comment below, let me know, and stay tuned for tomorrow. A bunch more videos are on their way, including the epic live debate featuring myself, Anime Recon, Anime Uproar, and All Day Anime. Boy, that is a lot of anime in the name, as we debate who is the best girl in Re:Zero, Amelia or Rem. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna go on live at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss out. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And as always, guys, if you'd like to see more videos on this channel, be a part of the Black Critic group, please hit that subscribe button below. Like this video if you really enjoyed it. And I'm Tony Watt II, the lover known as the Black Critic Guy. Till then, happy Valentine's Day and peace, YouTube.